I am Anil Kumar. Welcome to my series on calculus. Let me thank all the viewers and subscribers for watching my YouTube channel and posting brilliant questions. Here is one of the question which you want to understand solution of. It is regarding limits. It is a very important test question, so I'll discuss the solution at length. In case you want to learn from me, you can always send an email on the address given. Also, check our website globalmathinstitute.com for the latest videos. The question which I am going to discuss is, we are given a function f of x which is 2x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 3 divided by x cubed minus 7x minus 6. Find the value of a and b if limit x approaches minus 1 for f of x and the limit x approaches 3 for f of x exists. And once you find a and b, then find the limit of the function when x approaches minus 1 and find the limit of the function when x approaches 3. You can pause the video, answer the question, and then look into my suggestions. So first, let me thank the person who has posted this brilliant question. Now, let us see. How do we solve it? Well, we want to find the limit when x approaches minus 1 for the function f of x. What do you notice? Well, if I substitute minus 1, then the denominator is 0, right? You know the denominator is x cubed minus 7x minus 6. Now, let's say this is the denominator, right? So let me write like this. Let me write the function f of x as equal to, let's say, the numerator over denominator, right? Now, so we'll find the limit for x approaches minus 1 for this particular function. Now, what you notice here is that the denominator for minus 1 is actually 0. If I substitute minus 1, what do I get? Well, x cubed minus 1 is the value of x, minus 7 times minus 1 minus 6 actually is 0. Similarly, the value of the denominator for 3 is also 0, right? So if I substitute 3 here, then 3 cubed minus 7 times 3 minus 6 is also equal to 0, right? 3 cubed is 27, 21 and 6 is also 27, so you get 0. So basically, we have a restriction here that x is not equal to minus 1 and 3. So that is the restriction on the given function. Now we are saying find the value of a and b if the limit of this function exists for x approaching minus 1 and for x approaching 3. Clearly, it means what? It means that the numerator should also have a factor which should be x plus 1 times x minus 3 times ax plus b, right? Let me write, because a and b are already there in the question, let me write cx plus d, correct? So the numerator should be of this kind. Only then the limit can exist, right? So what I'm trying to say here is that we should have a common factor in numerator and denominator, right? And these common factors are x plus 1 and x minus 3. Is that clear to you? So that should help us to actually solve the question. I hope the hint is clear to you. Now you can pause the video and answer the question, right? So let's look into the solution. So first thing first, as I was saying, that the denominator actually is 0 for x equals to minus 1 and x equals to 3. So we have a restriction here that x is not equal to minus 1 and 3. But the limit can exist. That means we're looking for a discontinuity at this point, and we're looking for a whole as a discontinuity, correct? Only then the limit can exist. Perfect. Now, These things are important to mention since such questions have a lot of communication marks, right? So if you really want to get all the communication marks for this question, you have to discuss this at length. Perfect. Now, I know that x cubed minus 7x minus 6 does have two factors, and these two factors are x plus 1 and x minus 3. Correct. Now, what is the other factor? Let's factorize the denominator as such. So what I'm doing first is we'll factor the denominator, which is x cubed minus 7x minus 6. Now, since we know that minus 1 will give us a 0, so let's do synthetic division with minus 1, writing the coefficients 1, 0, minus 7, 6. 0 is the placeholder for x square, correct? So you bring down 1, multiply, add, you get minus 1, multiply by minus 1, you get 1, add minus 6, and with minus 6 times minus 1, you get 6, and the remainder as expected is 0. The second factor is for x equals to 3. Dividing by 3, we get 1, 2, 0. Well, that clearly indicates that the third factor is x plus 2, right? So that means I could write the denominator as product of x plus 1, x minus 3, and x plus 2. So we could write the denominator as product of these three factors, correct? Now, we are saying that the limit exists for x approaching minus 1 and x approaching 3. That means the numerator should also have x plus 1 and x minus 3 as two of its factors. So what we are looking at now is that if I substitute x equals to minus 1 and if I substitute x equals to 3, then the numerator, which we are saying is what? Numerator is equal to 2x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 3. That should be equal to 0 for x equals to minus 1 and 3. Correct? That is what we are looking into, right? So let's now find out the value of a and b using this particular concept. Another thing which I've done here is when I multiply x plus 1 with x minus 3, what do I get? I get x squared minus 3x plus x minus 3. Combining the center two terms for x, we get x squared minus 2x minus 3. That is to say that both numerator and denominator will be having x squared minus 2x minus 3 as one of their factors, correct? Now let's look into the numerator in more details. As I was saying, we'll substitute minus 1 first and then equate it to 0. Once we do that, we get minus 2 plus a minus b plus 3 equals to 0. Simplifying, writing b in terms of a, we can say that b is equals to a plus 1. Let me call this as our equation number 1. Now, let's substitute 3 in the numerator. Once you substitute 3 in the numerator, in that case, we get 54 plus 9a plus 3b plus 3 equals to 0. Simplifying, we get 3a plus b equals to minus 19. Now, in this equation, which I am calling as our equation number 2, let me substitute equation 1, which is the value of b as a plus 1. So now I'll have an equation which has only a. Now we can find a from this equation. 3a plus a plus b, so I'm substituting instead of b, a plus 1. So 3a plus a plus 1 equals to minus 19. Combining 3a and a, we get 4a. Taking 1 to the other side, we get minus 20. And that gives us the value of a. Let me say this as equation number 3. A is equals to minus 5. So we got one value. Now, b is a plus 1. Substituting minus 5 for a, we get the value of b as minus 4. Correct? So then we have found the value of a as minus 5 and b as minus 4. So the numerator now can be written with substituting the value of a and b as 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 4x plus 3, denominator being x cubed minus 7x minus 6. Correct? Now let's further factor numerator. We have already factored denominator. So what we can do here is that we can divide the numerator by x squared minus 2x minus 3. How did we get this x squared minus 2x minus 3? Well, x plus 1 times x minus 3 is the factor. So when you expand, as we showed it earlier, x squared minus 3x plus x minus 3 simplifies to x squared minus 2x minus 3. So we are going to divide the numerator by x squared minus 2x minus 3, correct? That is what we are doing here. So we are basically dividing the numerator. So we are doing the numerator divided by the factor x plus 1 times x minus 3. Then we'll get the third factor, correct? We know these two are definitely the factors. So the idea is to divide the numerator x squared minus 2x minus 3 by this number to find the third factor of the numerator. So we have again performed this time the long division, correct? So long division we are doing now. So dividing, first we'll multiply by 2x, and when we take away, then we'll get what? Minus x squared 2x, bringing down 3 here, and then minus 1 times will give us a remainder as 0, as expected. So clearly, from here we can write down that the equation can be written with third factor as 2x minus 1, and therefore the numerator 2x cubed minus 5x minus 4x minus 5x squared minus 4x plus 3 is equal to the product of three factors x plus 1 times x minus 3 times 2x minus 1. Correct? So now we have factored both numerator and denominator, and now it's very simple to find the limits. The function f of x can now be written in the form of the factors x plus 1 times x minus 3 times 2x minus 1 in the numerator, x plus 1 minus times x minus 3 times x plus 2 in the denominator. Perfect. Now as you can see, we do have holes at x equals to minus 1 and x equals to 3, correct? So now this expression simplifies to 2x minus 1 over x plus 2, right? So we could write this as 2x minus 1 over x plus 2, where the restriction is that x is not equal to minus 1 and x is not equal to 3, correct? That becomes the equivalent expression. Now it is easy to find the limit. So now we'll find the limit of the function when x approaches 3. Substituting 3 in this equation itself, which is 2 times 3 minus 1 over 3 plus 2, right? 2 times 3 is 6, 6 minus 1 is 5, 5 over 5 is 1. And therefore, we get this limit as 1. To find the limit when x approaches minus 1, we are going to substitute minus 1 in our simplified expression. When you substitute that, we get minus 2 minus 1 in the numerator divided by minus 1 plus 2 in the denominator, which is minus 3. So the limit of this function when x approaches minus 1 is indeed minus 3. So in this way, we have solved this particular question. Here is the summary. We are given the function 2x cubed plus ax squared plus bx plus 3 divided by x cubed minus 7x minus 6. Now, we wanted to find the value of a and b, which we found by substituting x equals to minus 1 and 3 in the numerator. And we found the values of a and b as a was minus 5 for us and b was minus 4. And therefore, the expression was 2x cubed minus 5x squared minus 4x plus 3 divided by x cubed minus 7x minus 6. We factored both of them. In both, we found that x plus 1 and x minus 3 were common factors, and therefore it reduces to 2x minus 1 divided by x plus 2, where x is not equal to minus 1 and 3. So there are holes at these points. Now to find the limit, we'll substitute x equals to minus 1 to find the limit at x approaches minus 1, and we can substitute x equals to 3 to find the limit when x approaches 3. We get our limits at minus 3 and 1 respectively. Here's the graph for it. So you can see from here very clearly that when this is a hole and the value of this hole at 3 is equal to 1, right? That is the limit. And for minus 1, the limit is minus 3 as shown here. So these are the holes and the limit exists for the function as the value of x approaches 3 and as the value of the x approaches minus 1. Is that clear to you? So I hope that helps you to understand how do we solve such a question. Feel free to write a comment, share your views, and if you really like and subscribe to my videos, that'd be great. Also, you can always write to me on the given email address for further queries. Thanks for your time and all the best.